Welcome to the stage, the host of your show, for another solo stand-up performance. Your AI futurist, the marketing master, your AI chicken wrangler, Matt Rouse. Today we're talking about 3 things you need to know about AI in the workplace in 2026.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Digital Marketing Masters. I'm your host, Matt Rouse. And as many of you know, but maybe not everyone, I'm the author of Will AI Take My Job? And Will AI Take My Job Too? Which is my 8th book. I've done a lot of research for those 2 books, over the last 4 years. And there are some things in those books that I alluded to, but I didn't entirely spell out, and though some of them I did, I think they're still important to talk about right now. So I'd like to talk a little bit about some AI misconceptions and some things that I predicted that are definitely coming true, but are also pretty important whether you are, in a job or a corporate environment or, part of another organization, or whether you're a business owner, you have a side hustle, any of those kind of things. Number 1, if you want to make sure you can keep your job or you're trying to get a job, being on the AI hater or anti-data center bandwagon is probably not going to get you that job. The anti-AI people are going to be the ones who get laid off. I'm not saying this because I think they should. I'm not saying this because I'm against protesting or anything like that. Quite the opposite. But the majority of corporate jobs, at least in the Western world, the ownership, the board of directors, the management, they are looking for people who have AI skills or the ability to pivot or to learn new skills around AI to increase productivity. That's something that is on their radar right now. And if you're an anti-AI person or you refuse to use AI tools, then you're going against the directive that the company has. It's never been a good way to get a job or keep a job. And you don't have to be rah-rah AI, but you definitely don't want to be anti-AI, or at least not loudly. If you're a person who hates AI, probably not somebody who listens to this podcast anyway, let's be honest. If you know somebody, they're going out to get a job, you can give them a heads up, because from the standpoint of businesses, business owners, leadership, people that I talk to, their concern is that they're going to be left behind if they don't get improved productivity from AI, and they're looking for that improved productivity to come from their staff using or implementing AI. Number 2 is what most people think is AI is either a chatbot or automation, but they don't really understand what automation is for the most part, and they probably don't understand much about AI outside of using a chatbot like ChatGPT or Gemini or something. One of the biggest reasons that we've seen companies not showing productivity gains from replacing workers, there's 2 reasons that companies are not seeing a return on their investment in AI with their workers. There's more than 2, but the 2 biggest ones that I see are they have a misunderstanding of what people do in their jobs, and that is something called the doorman fallacy, which I'll get to in a second. The other factor is that a lot of layoffs are being blamed on productivity or efficiencies gained through AI, but they're using that to cover up the bad performance of their company. So a large company lays off a bunch of workers. Let's say they lay off 10% of their workforce. Normally, people would look at that and go, company's not doing so great. And the stock price would go down because people are selling it. But now they can say lay off 10% of their workforce, and they say, that's not a negative thing. This is a good thing. because we have all these efficiencies that we can lay off 10% of our workforce, and then their stock doesn't go down as much. And for the most part, those companies are not being truthful. So there's that. But let's get back to the doorman fallacy. Rory Sutherland works for Ogilvy. He came up with the doorman fallacy, where a hotel decided to save costs that they would fire the doorman. What happened is the business actually kept getting worse and doing worse and doing worse in sales. And it turns out that it's because the doorman did a lot more than just open the door for people. They were the person who knows everybody's name. They chat with the customers, right? The people who are staying at the hotel, they know the doorman and he tells them where things are and he does kind of a concierge role. And he's basically the customer facing point of communication between the business and the customer. A lot of companies who are using AI and automation, they go through the tasks that are assigned to a role in their company and they say, okay, we can automate this task, this task, this task, this task. But I don't know about you, but every time that I've ever worked at a company, they say, these are the things that you're going to do at this job. And then once you get into the job, for starters, you don't end up doing half of those things. And as time goes on, you ended up doing more and more other things that were not in the original job description. So what happens is all those extra things that you're doing that are not documented, those things stop getting done when they eliminate your position and automate what used to be your job function. And then the companies go, "Oh my god, how come we've automated all this stuff? We removed these positions, but our company's doing worse, not better." And that's because of the doorman fallacy. They don't understand what the jobs actually were that people were doing because they were not involved, or oftentimes upper management is disconnected from the average customer facing or field worker, right? I think there's one other thing there too that's interesting, which is companies are seeing that the token cost of paying for AI systems that they're using through automations. And tokens is how you pay for AI. If it's outside of a subscription environment, like paying for ChatGPT or something, if you're using an API, an automation system, Zapier, N8N, something like that, those systems or software systems pay for tokens. And what ends up happening is it takes so many iterations to get the work done properly or for the automation to get going that the amount of tokens that they had to buy end up costing them more than the employee cost in the first place. You see this a lot in SaaS companies. They bolted AI onto everything. And first they're like, the CRM will be write this customer description with AI. Just click this button. And then they burn through so many tokens that their profit margin goes in the toilet. And then they go, okay, now we're going to have to up the subscription fee for our app because we're burning through so many tokens. And then they end up having to have complex billing where they're like recharging tokens and all this kind of stuff when it used to just be that it's $39 a month to use MailChimp or whatever it is, right? That token cost is starting to kind of transfer the profit margin from SaaS companies into these big AI companies and cloud companies like AWS and Google and Microsoft. Another thing that's interesting is that those tokens are heavily subsidized. So because they're trying to get as many people and as many companies on board with using it, they're subsidizing the cost of the tokens with their venture capital. And as time moves on, they're slowly removing that subsidizing. Part of it is through efficiency, but also part of it is by raising the token cost. So the cost to use a model, generally speaking, gets cheaper every year. The problem is it only gets cheaper for the existing model. Using last year's model now might be 90% cheaper, but using the top of the line model is getting more expensive than it was to use the top of the line model last year. And that is the problem that they're having where the token cost is increasing over time. So They are using more tokens than they thought they would, which costs more money than the employees they replaced. But then also that token cost is increasing over time. And I think eventually it will be a lower cost for most of the automation and most of the AI than it was for the employees or the tasks of those employees that they replaced. But what is a better model, and this is the model we use in our company, is we train our employees how to use the best tools to do their job and which parts of their job they should use those tools for to get the most benefit. So instead of laying off employees, we're training our employees to be like super employees. So we only hire people who are already experts, and then we basically supercharge them with AI and automation tools. Number three, and this is something I covered in my book, Will AI Take My Job and Will AI Take My Job Too? Many industries are grossly understaffed. For example, medical. There is a lack of doctors, nurses, support staff, specialists in almost every category in every country in the world. So, thinking that going into medicine you might get replaced by AI, really, really unlikely. You might get replaced by AI if you're the guy sweeping the floors, but they said that AI was going to get rid of radiologists by 2027. And in 2026, radiologists now make 30% more money and they're twice as in demand as they were before because using these AI tools, they're able to not only find more problems, so they get better medical outcomes, they can get better medical outcomes for more patients more quickly. So they are not less in demand, they're actually more in demand. And we're not training them any faster than we were before. So even though the demand is growing, the supply is going down, which is causing them to be more expensive, right? Supply and demand. If you think about small businesses, most small businesses have so much work to do in their business that there is no way that their staff can ever get it all done. They have to do a lot of prioritizing. They got to say, okay, wow, these are the things that because they can't afford to hire any more employees unless they can get more efficiency or they can kind of get more customers, but serve more customers in the same amount of time. So that's where the efficiency piece comes in. These are two fields where people can use AI for the most benefit. Let's say you're an administrator or something for a small business, you're an operations person, you run the office, whatever it is. If you can automate some of the kind of day-to-day tasks or weekly, monthly tasks, repetitive data-based tasks, those things can be done more quickly or automatically. And by using a combination of AI to make simple decisions and an automation system so that it's done on a regular basis where it can take multiple steps, now what you've got is a system where that administrator or that office manager, operations manager, whatever it is, can handle more work so they can get more done. And once they start getting lots of the regular day-to-day business stuff done, they can start focusing on the things that will make the business more profitable. Or they can start working on the things that will make the business more efficient. And both of those things allow that business to grow and expand, hire more staff, and so on. So again, you've got a place where AI use and automation use will improve the business and it's not taking away jobs. It's being used to add jobs and to increase the value of those people in the business and increase the value of the business itself. They get a better business outcome, like in the medical field, where they're getting a better medical outcome using AI. In the small businesses and kind of middle market businesses, these efficiencies and things that they can gain are allowing them to get a better business outcome. So that's it for this week. We're going to keep it short and don't forget to buy the book, Will AI Take My Job Too, which was just updated a couple months ago. I know AI moves really quickly, but I think you're going to find that The things that I talk about in the book, most of them are pretty timeless. What's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years in different industry verticals. I talk a little bit about robots, a little about self-driving, AI and AI agents and agent swarm, but in a way that the average person can understand what I'm talking about. It's going to give you strategies to make you more valuable and to be able to pivot where needed and avoid any kind of a dip between as AI gets implemented and when the new economy comes up out of the age of AI. So I'm Matt Rouse, and I will see you next week.
I'm feeling lost. What's coming next? The world is changing, it's so complex. Will AI take my job? Will I be replaced? Am I just a cog in this corporate race?